Hello and namaste. This is Karen with Samsara Yoga Center. Thank you so much for joining me today for Yoga for Stress Relief. So today's practice will be an entirely mat-based practice, and we'll spend a little bit of time on the hands and knees. So it could be helpful to bring in a prop such as a blanket or two, or if it's not available, you can do the practice completely on the mat or on a carpet. So find some space where you can be alone and uninterrupted, and we'll start by coming down onto the back. So when we come down onto the back, the knees can be bent or the legs can be straight, whatever you prefer. We'll take a moment to set a soft gaze or close the eyes, whichever you are more comfortable with. And here we'll just scan the body. So beginning at the crown of the head, begin to move down into the back of the head and the forehead. Relax the eyes. Soften down through the jaw and through the neck. Notice any tension at the back of the neck and the shoulders. Notice the shoulders themselves and the length of the arms down to the fingertips. Upper chest and back. The solar plexus. Notice the movement of the rib cage, the movement of the waist. Check in with the whole pelvic bowl, the hips. Notice the thighs, front and back. Sense the knee joints, the calves and shins, and the soles of the feet. Take a moment here to sense the temperature of the air at the tips of the toes. Sense the space between the toes. And then move back up through the body into the ankles, the calves and the shin, the front and back of the knees. Notice the inner and outer thighs, as well as the backs and the fronts of the thighs. Sense the sacrum and the face of the pelvis, the arch of the low back and the center of the navel. Feel the place or the space of the solar plexus from front to back. Sense the sternum and the upper spine, the arms from fingertips to shoulders. Soften the throat and notice the space of the neck. And then soften the face and notice the weight of the head at the back of the head. And here notice the breath. And then we'll inhale and come into a symmetrical stretch, reaching the body long. The feet go in one direction, the arms go in the other, and we stretch. And then exhale, relax. So here we'll bend the knees into the chest and we'll do little circles with the knees. So we'll pull them in close and then let them float out and around to the other side. And so just these gentle circles. And so we notice that the tops of the thighs brush against the belly as we exhale and they move across the body. And we also notice the back of the body being pressed into the floor. Do one more like this. And then we'll take it in the opposite direction. So here we're creating space in the low spine, and we're creating that connection to the earth. The earth has a subtle energy that helps to ground, stabilize. And so we want to connect to that. Feel as if we're rooted not only into the earth, but into this moment and into our calmest most quiet and still place. Bring the knees back to center. Inhale, go ahead and straighten the legs, flex the feet, then bend them in and float them down to the floor. So we'll start to open up through the shoulders, the upper back, and the neck. So bring the arms out to the sides. And we'll inhale and float the arms up overhead. And exhale, float them down. So these gentle little angel wings, we bring them up overhead. And exhale, down. So let the breath be smooth and easy. We'll do one more. And then bring the arms down by the sides. We'll set up the knees so they're hip distance apart, letting the heels fall under the knees. And we'll start to do a little bit of jostling. So press into the feet and push the body up, and then just release that and let the body go. So what we want to notice here is that we're pushing along the back of the body, but notice what the head and neck is doing. We want to make sure that the head and neck is moving. So sometimes if we have the neck too elongated, we'll just feel a little pulsing in the chin. So create that natural curve in the neck and see if you can get the head moving a little bit. Close the eyes and just notice how this feels. Notice that soothing nature of the rocking. And then maybe just lift the left foot and continue that rocking, hovering the left as you press back. And then lower the left foot, press with both. And then as you're ready, hover the right. So if it's distracting to hover the foot, just don't do it. Keep both feet on the floor. And then we'll bring the right foot down and then stop. Breathe, finding that full, soft, even breath. And just notice the effects of the jostling. How do you feel in your fingertips and your arms? How do you feel at the back body and in the legs? And then we'll come to roll over onto our sides and bring the arms out in front of us. So here, it might be a little uncomfortable to lay the head directly onto the ground. So we can grab our blanket and just place it under the head and neck. We bring the arm out in front. And now we're going to reach slightly forward. And then as we inhale, we'll roll all the way back and open and come into a twist. So notice here if you need to bring a little something between the knees or put a little something underneath the shoulder. You can even just move your blanket back a little if there's any discomfort. And then we'll exhale and we'll peel that top arm across the body. Inhale, we open. So here you can close the eyes, set a soft, blurry gaze, and move with your breath. As you inhale, you roll the body open, and as you exhale, you roll the body closed. Notice the feeling along the head as you slowly rock back and forth. Notice the feeling in the body. We'll do 3 more, just like this. And then we'll come to rest for a few breaths, open in the twist. Let the face be soft, the breath be smooth and even. Notice the weight of the body at the shoulders, into the arms. Notice the breath as it spirals down along the spine to the base of the pelvis and back up. And then on the exhale, we'll go ahead and close the body. Take one cycle of the breath here. And then roll over onto the back. So I'm just going to move my blanket up a little bit out of my way and have the legs straight. So we're going to do a similar thing, right, where we're jostling the body, but sometimes it can be a little bit more difficult to do with the legs straight. So if you find that it's distracting, just bend the knees again. But if you're comfortable, have the legs straight and using the heels. We once again want to start to jostle the body, making sure that we have enough of a natural curve in our neck that the head and neck also moves. And I would like to just shout out to Natalie Maggio, who taught me this. She's an excellent teacher. And we have a few of her videos on Samsara, and you should check them out. She's wonderful. So notice how this feels different than when the knees are bent. And notice where you feel the movement in the body. Keep the face soft. We'll do this for another 20 seconds or so. So this is wonderful for the lymph drainage, but it's also very soothing to our system. So just a few more and then stop. Let the toes fall out to the sides. Just relax and notice the breath in the body. What do you feel throughout your entire system? And then we'll roll over to the opposite side to do those gentle rolling openers. So coming over to the opposite side, the knees are bent. Forgot my blanket. Bring your blanket. Bring your arms open. And then here we go. Take an exhale, reaching that top hand forward, and then inhale, we roll it open. Exhale, rolling forward. Inhale, rolling open. So let the breath guide the movement. The face is soft. The mind is quiet and relaxed. And we are absorbed in the experience of the body. Let's do 3 more. And after your 3rd cycle, come to rest with the body open. Let the face be soft. Feel the breath in the body and that connection to the earth. Take one more breath here. And then on an exhale, we'll fold the body closed and then roll over onto the back. So coming onto the back, we'll do just a little bit of a breathing practice. So find a comfortable posture. You can have the knees bent or straight. And as you inhale, just notice the breath just outside of the nostrils. Feel the cool air like two streams funneling into the nostrils, moving up the bridge of the nose behind the forehead. And feel the breath move back out. In short order, these two streams quickly become one. So as you inhale, feel the cool air streaming into the nostrils, flowing up the bridge of the nose, moving past the eyebrow center, and feel as if the breath is filling a cool, clear lake at the crown of the head. And so with each inhalation, that gentle lake begins to fill. Sense the crown of the head like a cool pool of water, clear, reflective, and deep. And notice that with each breath, the pool gets a little fuller. And then at some point, the water seems to move over the edge of the pool. So as you exhale, feel the water spill out of the pool and into the body. And for some, each exhale may feel like a tsunami, the water rushing down across the body towards the toes. And for others, it might be a little slosh where the water is quickly lost into dry soil. But whatever you sense, let it be just as it is. Noticing that with each inhalation, a cool stream flows upwards towards the crown. And as the crown fills, this cool, clear water spills over the edge to nourish the body. And then gently release the visualization from the mind. And inhale, come into a symmetrical stretch. Exhale, relax. And then we'll come over onto all fours. So coming onto all fours, we'll then bend the elbows, and we can either stack the forearms and elbows under the chest, or you can create more of a dolphin triangle to stabilize. We'll release the head down and we'll just start to move back and forth. You don't have to go all the way back or all the way forward, but stay in a place where you're comfortable. Notice how the weight shifts from the forearms onto the knees and shins. And then the next time you shift the weight back, start to make little circles. So we're creating an ellipse, cycling the body around and around. The next time your sit bones are towards the heels, reverse direction. And then we'll come back to center and shift forward and back. And then we'll come to a place of pause, and you can either pause, resting the shoulders over the elbows, or come all the way back into an extended child's pose. Here we rest the head and breathe. Once again, sensing our connection to the breath and to this moment. Let the mind be clear, free of thought and language. And experience the sensations within the body. And then we'll inhale, float up to all fours. And then we'll come over onto the back. So on the back, once again, we're going to create that sense of groundedness with the earth. So pull the knees into the chest and we'll bring the arms out into a T. So we'll let the knees drift over to one side so we're not falling all the way over into a twist. And we also don't want to strain because we're not doing an abdominal workout. We're just making a greater connection to the earth. So bring the knees over as far as they're comfortable and then pull them in towards the belly and then off to the other side. If you'd like, you can cross the ankles or you can spoon the feet. But this is a gentle movement, and maybe it's no more than just a shift of the weight from hip to hip. But find what feels right for you. Inhale, draping the knees over to the right. Exhaling, guiding them across center, and then inhaling over to the other side. Creating this lovely arch with the knees, or arc with the knees. And then begin to circle the knees. Whatever direction you happen to be going in, circle the knees in that direction. After about 3 cycles, reverse. And then bringing the knees to center, float the feet down to the floor. Walk the feet apart, and we're going to do a very slow Swami. So drop the left knee out to the left, let the right knee follow. Then lift the right knee, let it go over as far as it can, and then the left knee will pick up and start to follow the right. Left knee picks up, it moves to the left, bringing the right along with it. The right moves up and falls. So slow and gentle Swami. You can turn the head in the opposite direction of the knees if that feels right. We'll do one more set here. And then we'll bring the knees up to center. Take a complete cycle of the breath before we turn over onto the belly. So coming onto the belly, toes will be straight, arms will be folded, but we'll bring the legs apart and we'll start to rock from side to side across the face of the pelvis. So we actually want to press the face of the pelvis into the floor. So think of pressing the belly button and the pubic bone into the floor as you roll from side to side. So sometimes we can hold tension in this space, and what we'll feel is one hip bone and then another hip bone. But we want to press through the face of the pelvis, press into that space below the belly button, feeling the whole bowl of the pelvis roll against the earth. Soften the back, soften the shoulders and the face. We'll do one more set here, and then come to stillness. Feel the breath and notice the sensations within the body. Then go ahead and straighten the left arm and bend the right knee, bringing it out to the side of the mat. Let the head rest on the right forearm. Breathe. Soften the straight and the bent leg. Soften the right and left shoulder. Soften the face. Take one more very deep breath here. And then straighten the right leg. Straighten the right arm. Bend the left arm and bend the left knee. And we'll take 4 or 5 breaths here. Again, encouraging the breath to be smooth and deep, unbroken. Encouraging heaviness in the hips and the shoulders, and encouraging the mind to be present with the experience of the body. Not sending its energy into the future or past. Not sending it into daydream or worry, but being right here with the body in this moment in time. And then on your next inhale, go ahead and straighten the left arm and leg. And then we'll roll over onto the back for final relaxation. So come into Shavasana, resting on the back. Knees can be bent or straight. You can put a prop behind the knees or under the neck. But once again, we'll come into our breath, allowing the face to be soft. And feeling that cool stream of air come into the nose and pool at the crown of the head. Relax the forehead and eyes. Soften the temples, the sides of the head and the cheeks. Relax the lips, the tongue. Soften the hinge of the jaw and the throat. Let the whole weight of the head be heavy. Feel the support of the earth beneath it. Soften the inner and outer columns of the throat. Relax the upper chest and back. Soften the shoulders and the length of the arms to the fingertips. Notice the movement of the breath and the basket of the rib cage, and soften all of those spaces that you sense. The space between the ribs, the space between the vertebrae. Soften the space around the heart, the lungs. And then soften into the empty waist. Feel the breath expand and contract all along the band of the navel. Relax into the bowl of the pelvis. Soften into the hips and then down the legs to the feet and the toes. With each breath, soften more deeply into the support of the earth. Feel that the earth is always there, a constant companion to help ground and guide, to help soothe and support. Stay here for as long as you like. May we find peace in our practice. May we find peace within ourselves. May we offer peace to our communities and to our world. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste.